Oh, I don't even know how to start this video. I even did a live stream talking about this before I posted this because I needed to gather my thoughts that much because this is just beyond crazy and beyond fucking revolting, disgusting. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Jake Paul, and this is... So earlier today a TMZ article literally broke the internet, and it said, breaking, Jake Paul's home being searched by FBI, warrant issued. Now immediately people started talking and being like, shit, what is this? And people's minds went to different places, and I'm just going to read through the article because we really need to before we go any further. So the headline of the TMZ article, which will be linked below, says Jake Paul, Calabasas crib raided, weapons seized, raid involves the protests. So the update says the FBI has just played its hand partially and revealed that the raid is somehow in connection with Jake getting arrested in Scottsdale during a George Floyd protest. The FBI tells TMZ the FBI is investigating allegations of criminal acts surrounding the incident at Scottsdale Fashion Square in May 2020. Jake was in the mall and arrested for trespassing and was charged with a criminal attack on the building. But the city attorney has dropped the case. But it appears that a more serious investigation has taken place. Now, if you don't remember, it was the videos of Jake Paul and his friends literally looting inside of shopping malls. You can find them on your own if you want to. I'm not even going to put them on the screen or put them behind me because I don't even want to even push that on my platform because I don't even want you to think that I think that's even okay to put on here because it's not. With Jake Paul looting, nah, that's completely different than the main idea of people coming after the big corporations who were not helping them and actually going against them. Another update, it appears that the FBI has seized weapons from Jake Paul's Calabasas home. This is based on aerial footage from the scene, as you can see here. Law enforcement officially were spotted walking down Jake's driveway with what appears to be weapons, and perhaps more weapons. I'm not going into the specifics for this video because YouTube does not like when you do that. 2 per person from what we can see, so there were a lot of weapons. By the way, a second raid happened nearly 300 miles away from the one that happened at Jake's Calabasas home, in Sin City, no less, at a house that's connected with Jake Paul. Another update, Jake's attorney, Richard Schoenfeld, tells TMZ, we understand that a search warrant was executed at Jake's Calabasas home this morning while Jake was out of state. I'm pretty sure he's in Vegas, don't quote me, but I think he is. We are still gathering information and will cooperate with the investigation. Another update, whatever the feds were looking for at Jake Paul's home apparently required a lot of backup and manpower because a lot of trucks left his home. And with that, I want to show you this video. This was all leaving Jake Paul's home. That's the third. Fourth. I can't. What is happening? By our count, there seems to be at least 20 people or so on the ground executing the search warrant. Which makes you wonder what the hell Jake might be mixed up in, if anything at all. Still no word if arrests were made and if any property or evidence was seized. We're working on getting some answers as to why this firepower was sent. We know Jake draws a lot of attention with his YouTube stunts, which are often documented on camera, some of which have landed him in hot water, legally before. The raid isn't a prank gone wrong though, we know it's real this time. It's unclear if Jake himself is home right now. And that's the last update from TMZ. This is insane. Why are these things that he just has in his house? Why are these things that are encouraged? And why is this something that people are like, oh, this is just Jake Paul? Like, oh. People are seeing this and excusing it. No. People are seeing this and being like, oh, but he's a YouTuber. What? Composing myself a second. So I really needed my subscribers to help me with this one. And I asked you what your thoughts were on this. Because I really need you to help me form my opinion as well. Because I need to hear different opinions. Because currently, my head is so clouded right now, and it's been hours since his first news drop. Kit Kat said the idea of these weapons being out, especially after he's been throwing massive parties with controversial people, he's asking for a disaster to happen because anyone could easily grab one of those and just go off. People talk about how easy it is to get weapons in America, and there's some truth in that statement, but there are crimes of opportunity. Someone may have saw a chance, not searching for it, and just had an unhinged moment. It's scary to think about, especially with how stressful the world is right now. Ellie said, who leaves weapons scattered around? That's potentially extremely dangerous, and the fact they were propped up against the hot tub, I don't know if the FBI put them there or they were there to start with, but it's just... oh. Tiny Donut said, honestly terrifying to imagine a man who had no problems burning a mattress or something in his own pool and almost catching his place on fire. I hate to imagine what those weapons were gonna be used for. Elle said he talks about weapons in his songs. He has a tattoo of weapons and has talked about them in his videos. What more can you expect? Moral of the story, we need more weapon control. Cassie said something that's very true. I'm just really curious on what triggered the search, because it's not like it wasn't pretty common knowledge that he had these weapons. And that's scary to think in itself. Fuel Addiction said, I can't say I'm surprised. Jake Paul has child star syndrome and is in the start of his washed up phase. Peaches and Scream says, no one needs that many weapons. I can understand having a weapon for self-defense, but having an entire stock of them is absolutely insane. I don't know what he was planning to do with these, but I'm glad they were taken away. Skeeter said, why is he an influencer? His demographic is the ages of 8 to around 14. Could you imagine being a parent and knowing that your child idolizes this person? Not only are they a reckless person, they also have a lot of weapons just lying around. Allegedly, anyway. Ryan James said the real question is, why are they being confiscated? It's legal in the States to have weapons, so what did he do wrong? And it's insane to me that they are legal, but Deanne responded and said he's a complete irresponsible owner, even if it is legal. Leaving it outside, propped against the hot tub, take away his weapon rights. That's how people get hurt. People also said they could be illegally purchased. Shelby said owning and having weapons lying around itself isn't illegal, which is mind-blowing to me. And there's nothing wrong with that alone. So that part's kind of like whatever. I'm just more interested in whatever happened to cause a search warrant, and that's another conversation. What was it? We'll probably never know. Sanity said it's absolutely ridiculous that they just had weapons out in the open and not properly locked up. You know, when they're drunk and party, it's only a matter of time before someone does something wrong. Saved said he doesn't care about the public safety. He has partied during the pandemic and now has weapons lying around for anyone to grab. Disgustingly selfish. I do wonder how the FBI found out though. Who was the rat? They deserve a treat. Drew said, Adam, it's Jake Paul. I'm not surprised of what he's done. Why are we having this attitude? After watching your stream, this was my live stream of me absolutely having a freak out over this, you shouldn't be surprised. He's set fires, he's broken things, he's treated people like objects, he's rude, he annoys neighbors. Something like weapons being shoved around his house isn't surprising, as he's a lunatic at the very least. He's most likely involved in some conspiracy or holding people down. Well, it's like, why is this an influencer then? It's like everything you just listed off to me. Why is that someone that is idolized? Why is that someone that your children look up to? Why is this someone who gets all the funding across all social medias? Why? It makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes, right? Broccoli said it's perfectly legal to hold weapons with a license, so he must have been wanting to do or did something really bad, or they were illegal weapons to have them confiscated. Janae said, I'm not sure what's going on, but for the FBI to be involved, those weapons have to be illegal. He must have bought them illegally, and depending on what weapons they were, it's probably legal to have them in California, but just wow. I'll read out one more. So Ellie said, it is disgusting, especially with what's going on in the world currently and what's been happening within the black community for years on end because America allows weapons. I'm sorry, but I do not believe Jake Paul is a changed person. I think he is horrid and ungrateful. Please could you put some links in the description of your video on how people can help the Black Lives Matter movement. I think with your platform it could reach a new generation. Hope you're well, Adam, and staying safe. I love the work you're doing. Absolutely, and thank you so much. I'll read out one more, sorry. Stabarella said, someone who's so irrational and always been looking for shock value shouldn't have that many heavy weapons. Especially when they're not locked away safely. Whatever's happening, I hope he gets held accountable. And this is so beyond being held accountable. If they're taking all of this off of him, this is something deeper in my opinion, right? It kind of has to be. I don't know America's laws. I know it's a state by state and that's so fucking, it's a mind fuck. I don't understand it. But can people please help me out? This has to be really bad for them to confiscate this stuff and do a search warrant and he's out of town and it's all so shady. I'm like actually shaking. This is like, this shit's scary. Fuck. Anyways, I was so on edge about making this video because I didn't know how to approach it. But you know what? So many things are happening by the second that I had to literally be like, right, I need to make this because there's going to be so many follow-ups within the next few days. And if I don't have a foundation that you will all be able to understand and that I can build off of, it's not going to make sense. So I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I didn't enjoy filming it. But I enjoyed talking to you, if that makes sense. Please comment your opinions. What do you think's happening? What do you think triggered the search warrant? And what do you think about every weapon lying around that's just... Bye.